Tonight on CTV News.
Oh my God. It felt like we were driving through an apocalypse.
Hundreds of homes destroyed as an out-of-control wildfire tears through the Okanagan. More help is coming, but so is a worrying forecast. Also tonight.
You can't even see the mountains today.
I really do think it's bad.
Air quality worsens with wildfire smoke drifting towards Metro Vancouver. The warning from health officials as temperatures soar. And
so it goes bump, and then probably 2 or 3 seconds later, I heard an impact.
An unusual crash at a Port Moody townhouse complex. A truck slams into the front door of a home, leaving a family shaken.
This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We are now seeing the scope of the damage from the Bradley Creek wildfire that ripped through a lakeside community near Vernon on Saturday. Whipped up by fierce winds, people living along West Side Road had just minutes to escape, and one couple had to drive through a wall of fire to get to safety. CTV's Shannon Patterson begins our coverage.
Man, how devastating.
The morning after the Bradley Creek wildfire tore through homes on West Side Road in Vernon, realtor Hank Prebashewski went out on Okanagan Lake to see the destruction it left behind.
And it was kind of surreal, like when you saw it. Like I didn't really realize the extent of damage. Like it was total like obliteration. Like there was nothing standing.
The Okanagan Indian Band estimates 30 band members' homes and 200 non-band homes were destroyed in the fire.
Once the homes like dropped to ash, there was like no materials left. Like they were completely burnt to the ground.
West Side Road homeowners had just minutes to evacuate Saturday afternoon.
We were standing on our dock at our cabin, and I think it was around 2 o'clock. The fire started to come down the hill a bit more. So we were like, okay, we should probably head back to town pretty quick here. Oh no. Oh my God.
As Avery Brunell and her boyfriend drove toward Vernon,
we noticed that the fire had already jumped the road. It was on the other side. We realized there was no turning around, so we just went through it and didn't realize it was going to be as bad as it was. It felt like we were driving through an apocalypse. I was like, this doesn't even feel like real life right now. Probably the most terrifying thing that I've ever experienced in my life. Oh my God, Tanner, I'm scared.
Brunell credits her boyfriend Tanner with driving them safely through the wall of fire.
You can hear me in the video being like, oh my God, Tanner, I'm scared. That was when we were going through the flames. You could definitely feel the heat. At one point, I think I said, oh my God, it's so hot in here. It was insane.
There was a couple guys that stayed back to fight the fires, and they succeeded. They did save their homes, which is crazy because I couldn't imagine how hot it was.
While there are no reports of injuries or fatalities, some residents are concerned homeowners who stayed behind may not be accounted for.
It really wouldn't shock me because I think the wind hit like 80 kilometers an hour. Like it incinerated like 100 homes in like a matter of like an hour or two.
Prebashewski is thankful his family's West Side Road cabin was spared.
So we got really, really lucky. Like it was like right across from us, but it just blew right by us.
He knows many of his neighbors weren't so lucky.
It's like generations of families like deeply ingrained in the community here. It's really sad. Like I don't know how many people have home insurance. I believe a lot of them would, but I know lots of parts of West Side Road you're not able to even obtain home insurance.
My sister's boyfriend's family cabin, as well as a lot of friends and family cabins, are unfortunately gone. So it's going to be a lot to rebuild as well as clean up.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News.
Now to CTV's Ben Milcher, just outside the evacuation zone where some already know they have nothing to go back to. Ben.
We don't have a final tally yet, but we can tell you more than 200 houses have already been lost to the Bradley Creek wildfire. Some anxious evacuees still don't know if their houses are still standing. Others have already learned theirs burned to the foundation.
We have no word yet.
This checkpoint is as close as people can get to properties impacted by the Bradley Creek wildfire. Many who are out of their homes had to flee in a tactical evacuation on Saturday, with flames fanned by 80-kilometer-per-hour wind gusts closing in.
When we left, there was fire all around. The ponderosa, the pine trees you could hear them exploding and popping. You could hear the wind just roaring through.
Amber Cardenas has not been back to her home on the Okanagan Indian Band Reserve. but she knows it's gone. Relatives on the fire crew sent her photos of the empty foundation.
It's a pretty hard hit, you know. It's my partner's, I've lived there for about 12 years, and it's my partner's childhood home.
For now, they are staying with relatives in West Kelowna. That's also where the regional district has set up a reception center for evacuees.
When an evacuee arrives, we do a little bit of a needs assessment with them and help connect them to the right services they need. And of course, based on our ability to fill in things like accommodation.
With the summer tourist season in full swing in the Okanagan, accommodations are scarce. So Emergency Support Services encourages evacuees to stay with friends or family if at all possible.
We were invited to stay at the Morning Star Bible Camp, which was very gracious of them.
Although devastated by the loss of her home, Cardenas is grateful her family is safe and for the support they're receiving.
Words mean a lot, actions mean a lot, and I just hope no other homes are lost through this wildfire.
The Bradley Creek wildfire remains out of control and now covers more than 28 square kilometers as BC wildfire crews attack it from the air and the ground, doing whatever they can to prevent it from destroying more homes. Ben Milger, CTV News, near Vernon.
We're learning of more devastation from the Pear Lake wildfire burning near Clinton. Lauren Pullen is following this in the Breaking News Center. Lauren, more homeowners are getting heartbreaking news. Their properties have been damaged.
Nafisa, structures have been lost on about 120 properties, many of those people's homes. The Thompson-Nicola Regional District has done another rapid damage assessment in spots where it's safe to do so and is now in the process of connecting with all of those property owners. And some areas still have been too unsafe for them to check.
We haven't been able to access all of the areas where we believe there may be additional structural losses from the Pear Lake fire. Even if it's safe to do so, we're hoping to be able to do those assessments in the coming days and get the full picture. So we may expect that number for 120 or so properties to increase.
More than 1,500 properties are still under evacuation order in the regional district, in addition to the village of Clinton and surrounding First Nations also evacuated. And at this point, Nafisa, there is no word on when those orders may be lifted or when homeowners may even be able to see their properties. It is just too unsafe.
Hey, Lauren, thank you. Well, the Bradley Creek and Pear Lake wildfires are just two of more than 100 causing damage across BC. And as CTV's Rob Buffum reports, there's concern about the weather in the coming days that could lead to even more fire starts.
Fierce flames from the Bradley Creek fire north of Vernon razed swaths of land north of Okanagan Lake, leaving about 230 homes destroyed. One of nearly 120 wildfires raging across BC.
Never seen fuel dryness the way we are seeing it right now. And then when you put 85 to 100 kilometer winds on top of that, it is an explosive and extremely dangerous situation in BC.
Those hot, dry conditions and dry lightning over the weekend sparked wildfires across southern BC, forcing people to flee their homes, with 15,000 under evacuation orders and alerts, and many more on edge.
The orders and alerts over the past few days have been changing hourly. This reinforces just how important it is for everyone throughout the province to be prepared, even if you're not under alert yet.
There are more than 50 wildfires burning out of control. The province has called in reinforcements, crews from across Canada, 100 firefighters from Mexico arriving on Monday, and 200 more are coming later this week.
I am so honored on behalf of all British Columbians to be able to be here to welcome these incredible heroes.
Officials say they have enough resources, but acknowledge sometimes Mother Nature can't be matched.
Sometimes on some days, like on Saturday's cold front passage, there is never enough resources to try to combat that fire.
Despite multiple road and highway closures, record drought conditions in the Okanagan, and so many residents impacted across BC, the NDP hasn't declared a provincial state of emergency yet, like it did in 2023.
Those tools are not needed right now. Tools such as restricting travel, rationing supplies like fuel or accommodations.
The forecast calls for more hot, dry weather and dry lightning Thursday through Saturday as we enter our hottest month.
Rob joins us now. And Rob, what is the Premier saying about all of this?
Well, Nafisa, that's a question that came up from two separate reporters during today's press conference, and we weren't given a direct answer as to when he would be weighing in publicly on this matter. The Forestry Minister said that he was giving Premier Eby updates throughout the course of the day and a daily update type of thing as we go forward. Eby's office today pointed to a social media post he had extending his sympathy to folks who've been evacuated. I do have the impression that he will be speaking sometime later this week, but that's not confirmed. For now, I'm told he's simply in touch with local leaders. Nafisa.
Rob Buffum live in Victoria. Thank you, Rob. Well, the wildfires have brought heavy smoke here, and that is having a significant impact on air quality. Metro Vancouver has upgraded its warning for the Fraser Valley from yellow to orange, which means there is a very high health risk. Our St. John Alexander has that part of the story.
This is an excuse to take it easy. In fact, everyone should be taking it seriously. Overnight, a thick haze rolled in, covering Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. Hardest hit? Hope, Agassiz, Chilliwack.
Oh, I would say don't go out really if you don't have to. Like, limit your time outside because I really do think it's bad.
The air has not been good here all day, and it just got worse.
And that was largely due to aggressive wildfire behavior yesterday that generated significant amounts of smoke, which has drifted over our region.
It includes fine particulate from fires around Boston Bar and Cache Creek. Its severity can change by the hour, so anyone working outside was being encouraged to go inside for fresh air.
Because you can't even see the mountains today. It would be nice if they could get some rain.
Certainly people at higher risk include those with lung, heart, or other chronic conditions, pregnant people, infants, children, older adults, and outdoor workers.
Now, the smoke can't be missed around Metro Vancouver. It's blocking out the sun. But so far, the air at ground level remains relatively healthy. But that is no longer the case in Hope, Agassiz, and again, Chilliwack. On Tuesday morning, when we met Grace Horton, people were being warned to reduce outdoor activity.
Like, yeah, even after the hike, I was way more tired than I normally would be.
Now they're advising it's best to avoid it. St. John Alexander, CTV News, Chilliwack.
And a look outside. This is from our camera on top Grouse Mountain. You can see absolutely socked in, and that is not cloud, that is smoke.
That is right, unfortunately. Yeah, wildfire smoke pretty much blanketing all of Metro Vancouver, and it's from south of the border for us in Metro Vancouver. Here's a look at our smoke forecast right now. You can see it moving its way up from south of the border, continuing into tomorrow with smoky skies, and it's not until Thursday that the winds shift, and we will see some clearing as we head into Thursday morning. So as St. John mentioned, orange warning in place for air qualities for the eastern Fraser Valley, everywhere else, Fraser Canyon, as well as West Kootenay. Central Okanagan, you're dealing with a yellow air quality warning, and that will continue into the next 24 to 48 hours. So the best advice is to stay indoors and to limit outdoor activity.
All right, find some air conditioning if you can. Thank you, Anne. WestJet passengers are scrambling to get back in the air after a strike by flight attendants ended after just 30 hours. We'll have the latest on the situation in just a few moments. An investigation has been launched in Chilliwack after two small aircraft collided in midair, killing one person. The male victim was in one of the planes that ended up in a small lagoon. Here's CTV's Dimitri Maragos.
The Transportation Safety Board confirming the crash involved two Cessna 172 aircraft and happened Monday afternoon. The planes were operated by two separate flight schools. Officials with the Chilliwack Airport say one of the aircraft carrying two people was able to return to the airport and land safely. The other plane ended up submerged in a quarry lagoon with one person reportedly on board. Officials were seen investigating here. BC Emergency Health Services says 5 ambulances were dispatched to the area of Wolf and Skyway roads. BC Health Services says that they were dispatched to the scene, but no patients were taken to the hospital. Dimitri Maragos, CTV News, Chilliwack.
Some families who live in a Port Moody townhouse complex are out of their homes after an unusual truck crash. As CTV's Yasmin Ghanem reports, even though that truck crashed on Friday, crews have so far been unable to remove it.
It's an unusual sight in this quiet townhome complex. This truck behind me crashed into the front door and has been stuck here since Friday, shaking up this tight-knit neighborhood.
I heard the vehicle go over the speed bump, so it goes ba-bump. And then probably 2 or 3 seconds later, I heard an impact.
This resident says something like this has never happened in the complex, and he hopes his neighbors are okay.
I know them, and I feel for them. They've been out of their homes now for the past few days, and I hope they are, getting on okay. And it must be shocking for them. I mean, it's shocking for all of us.
CTV has learned one of the units houses a couple with their toddler. They are now scrambling to find a longer-term rental accommodation, as there is no word on when they can return home. Port Moody police confirmed the incident and say there were no injuries, but 2 units have significant structural damage, causing the truck to stay parked here. Police say the driver was issued a violation ticket for failing to secure the vehicle. Now a community remains on edge, wondering when this truck will finally be removed and what will happen to the building when it is. Yasmin Gantam, CTV News, Port Moody.
2 men have now been charged in last week's violent robbery of a senior in Vancouver's downtown east side. And a warning, the surveillance video we're about to show you is hard to watch. It happened near East Hastings and Jackson around 9:15 a.m. July 29th. Police say a 75-year-old man was out for a walk when the suspects pushed him to the ground, punched him multiple times in the face, and robbed him. When the victim tried to retrieve his belongings, he was allegedly slammed into a wall. 43-year-old Kurt Werner Steinhauser and 40-year-old Andre Joseph Burnett have since been arrested. Both have been charged with robbery and remain in custody pending a bail hearing. The WestJet strike may have been short-lived, but tens of thousands of passengers are still scrambling to figure out their plans. A tentative agreement between the carrier and flight attendants was reached yesterday, but it will take time for the airline to get operations back up to full speed. CTV's Katie Griffin reports.
Salvador Benawis and his family are trying to get to a family wedding in Cancun.
Another 5 hours waiting for their confirmation. The call gets disconnected. So it happened to us like 3 times.
They were supposed to fly on WestJet from Winnipeg to Calgary, then on to Cancun on Sunday, but that was canceled because of the strike. Instead, they were rebooked 2 days later, flying Tuesday morning from Winnipeg to Ottawa. Now they'll have to take a taxi to Montreal, where they'll have to spend the night in a hotel and catch a flight to Cancun Wednesday morning, the day of the wedding.
Oh, we already lost like 3 days there at Cancun. So we extended our stay.
WestJet ramping up operations after the one-day strike caused hundreds of flights to be canceled, leaving travelers stranded.
Monday early morning, I got a notice saying, you've been rebooked on Porter Airlines. And I went, okay, that's fine. And then I read that flight's on Friday. Yesterday was 5 days.
The union representing flight attendants saying the new deal includes pay increases and suggests it addresses concerns about unpaid work. Heather Jowett says there was no communication from the airline after her flight from Ottawa to Calgary was canceled, then back on after the strike was called off.
We were just waiting to see what they were going to do with the flights, and they ended up running it as normal once they settled. So we didn't have to worry about anything. But we didn't hear from them about what would happen with our flight.
We were concerned over the weekend when we heard all of the disruptions and so on, but this was our scheduled day to fly, and we came here. Everything was normal. Check-in was fine, and we're on our way.
The Benawis family taking it one step at a time.
Figured out how we'll be compensated for the other things that we're going to be taking out of our pocket.
After the break, an arson suspect arrested.
We believe it was matches or a lighter when he was detained.
A man accused of intentionally setting the largest wildfire in Spokane, Washington, and the latest on the devastation that forced 67,000 people to flee. When CTV News continues, stay with us. In Greece, firefighters are scrambling to contain wildfires outside Athens before winds and high temperatures return. Some residents west of the capital returned to scenes of devastation today after a major blaze tore through the area. Crews are working to prevent flare-ups. Several blazes that burned through mountain communities and coastal areas were brought under control overnight. In the Netherlands, firefighters battled a blaze overnight into today. The large fire forced evacuations and halted train service as flames spread quickly. About 100 hectares have been affected. So far, crews from several provinces were deployed to tackle the blaze. Large forest fires in the Netherlands are relatively rare. A man is in police custody on suspicion of arson for allegedly starting one of the wildfires raging in Washington state. More than 10,000 acres have burned in Spokane, while firefighters say at least 700 structures have been destroyed. NBC's Morgan Chesky reports.
Tonight, the man authorities say is responsible for the most destructive fire in Spokane, Washington's history, under arrest and in court.
Yes, Your Honor.
The sheriff releasing this image of officers arresting Aaron Fairnacci, tying the 37-year-old to the Old Trails fire, which aerial footage shows decimated entire neighborhoods and turned hundreds of homes to ash.
He was found to be in possession of some waterproof matches and a butane lighter.
Fairnacci has a prior conviction of manslaughter, found guilty in Arizona for killing his own father in 2010. Released from prison 6 years ago, he's now being held on a $1 million bond, charged with one count of first-degree arson. The Spokane fires forcing nearly 70,000 people to evacuate, many of them taking refuge at the city's convention center, including Jocelyn Beaumont, who says the flames are now walking distance from her home.
We're waiting to see where the fire is going. I understood that the wind had changed. North, it's going to hit us. South, it's going to go back over itself.
Last night, we met the Andersons.
That's our house.
Who lost their home. Today, we met their daughter, Lindsay Sabo, her husband, Chris, and two children, Colin and little sister Leah.
Well, my friend's house burnt down, so that was more memories.
The Sabos telling us they just paid off their home 5 weeks ago.
All of our things are gone. We have nothing.
It, too, like her parents' home, reduced to rubble. To hear all of this may have been the work of an arsonist.
Yeah, I mean, I think to say we're mad and upset are a vast understatement.
It feels impossible that one person could cause this much damage to people and to property and to a community.
After the break, trade talks intensify.
It is unpredictable at the best of times.
Canadian officials quietly head back to Washington with a threat of more punishing U.S. tariffs starting in 2 weeks. Stay with us. Canada's top U.S. trade official is back in Washington for new talks with his American counterpart. It seems the two sides remain far apart, with the looming threat of more Trump tariffs in less than 2 weeks. CTV's Washington bureau chief Joy Malbin reports.
Canada's trade team posted this the last time around, proof of their meeting with U.S. Trade Ambassador Jamieson Greer. The talks so urgent, so sensitive, the Canadian delegation put out a statement saying they're back in Washington to talk some more.
We're in a hard set of talks right now. I certainly understand why Minister LeBlanc and Chief Negotiator Charette and Ambassador Wiseman are being very, very discreet and very cautious about what they say and do publicly. This administration has been mercurial. It is unpredictable at the best of times.
These talks unfolding against President Donald Trump's latest pressure tactic.
Mexico and Canada need us. We don't need them. The deal is important for them. It's not important for us.
As the clock ticks down to yet another Trump tariff, a threatened 50% aimed at Canadian goods, $20 billion in exports at risk starting August 19th. Retaliation, Washington says, for what it calls discriminatory Canadian treatment of U.S. goods. But having seen his fair share of hardball trade negotiations, former Finance Minister Ralph Goodale remains optimistic.
We're in the top 3 markets in the world for 47 of the American states. So obviously, despite the bluster, despite the arguments to the contrary on the American side, Canada is very critically important to the Americans.
Neither side, it seems, wants to blink first, and with little evidence of a breakthrough, at least the two sides are still talking. Joy Malbin, CTV News, Washington. A new poll suggests there is no clear Conservative challenger to Prime Minister Mark Carney,
The most popular choice being a former prime minister. The new poll from Nanos Research asked Canadians which high-profile Conservative would have the best chance to defeat Carney's Liberals. The top choice at 33% was none of them. 16% said former PM Stephen Harper, while just 15% chose current leader Pierre Poilievre. Ontario Premier Doug Ford trailing just behind those two. While data shows Poilievre's chances to become the next prime minister seem unlikely, his spot as party leader seems secure.
He's not seen as a prime minister or a close challenger. That's the bad news. The good news is that it doesn't seem to be anyone in the bushes, the shadows, in the wings that people identify as a real alternative to Pierre Poilievre.
3 upcoming by-elections at the end of August could be a measuring stick for where the parties currently stand, including one in the riding of North Vancouver, Capilano. After the break, an uninvited guest.
My kids was in the garage and came in from the garage, a little bit of a startled look on their face, said there's a creature in our garage.
A creature, all right. It's a furry stowaway. How an adventurous marmot hitched a ride to Calgary. Plus, Anne's full forecast is coming up.
Time now for tonight's Skywatch, looking across Broad Inlet from New Brighton Park under slightly hazy skies in East Vancouver.
CTV Skywatch is brought to you by Kermac Collision and Autoglass, the name you'll remember when it matters. Kermac cares for kids.
Your Morning Minute brought to you by Technical Building Products.
We're in the thick of wildfire season in BC, so how can you protect your property this time of year and beyond? Dryden Dion with Technical Building Products joins us now with fire mitigation tips. Dryden, a lot of people assume homes catch fire when flames reach them, but actually they can happen with embers driven by wind through vents. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what a lot of people don't realize is that embers can travel up to 4 kilometers and get sucked up by the air exchange from an individual house. So what we're showcasing here is our brand guard vents that are a wildfire and ember resistant vent. They have built-in intumescent strips built directly into the vent itself that will completely expand and suffocate that ember before it's ever sucked into the house exchange to ignite that ember.
That is absolutely amazing. So great technology there. Thank you, Dryden, so much. So stay safe during wildfire season and beyond.
Watch Your Morning Vancouver, weekdays 6 to 9 on CTV and watch live on Crave.
Part of a SpaceX rocket is scheduled to crash into the moon. The Falcon 9 rocket lifted off in January 2025, carrying 2 lunar landers. One soft landed on the moon, the other failed to touch down. Now the rocket's second stage is set to slam into the lunar surface late tonight. Scientists estimate the collision will create a crater with a diameter of 20 to 30 meters. A mixture of solar activity and gravity forces have put the upper state on a path towards the moon. An astronaut from Alberta is preparing to go to the International Space Station next month, and he's planning on taking a piece of his family history on the mission.
I'll be taking an old pocket watch, so over 100 years old, because I need a watch to tell time, but also because it's always been in our family. So I'm a 4th generation Ukrainian Canadian. That watch came over with the 1st generation.
Joshua Kutrick is one of 4 astronauts heading to the International Space Station as part of SpaceX's Crew 13 mission. The mission is set to launch in mid-September, where Kutrick will serve as a specialist, and he's going to have his hands full when he gets back to Earth. His wife is scheduled to give birth to their 3rd child while he is in space. An Alberta man discovered a surprise hitchhiker had caught a ride with him on the drive back to his Calgary home. An adventurous marmot apparently hitched a ride from Kananaskis to Calgary last Tuesday. The driver, Chris Ratzlaff, thinks she may have tucked herself into a skid plate under the engine. The animal hung around in the garage for a while before exploring the neighborhood. She returned to the garage Saturday, and Ratzlaff called the Calgary Wildlife Rehabilitation Society, and they gave him some tips to keep this from happening again.
Whenever you are getting into your car in the mountains after hiking, bang on your hood a little bit, bang on the fenders, just to kind of scare something away. Take a look, like pop the hood, take a look inside, make sure you don't have any unwanted hitchhikers.
A team captured the intrepid marmot and gave her a quick health check before bringing her back home. And she actually looks like she's having fun exploring that garage.
She sure does. And she looks like, yeah, she's been eating very well. So she just wanted to rest and get a ride.
It's a happy marmot.
For sure. All right, let's take a look at our forecast now. Dry out there and smoky. Ridge of high pressure will dominate pretty much the whole province, keeping things dry as we head into tomorrow. We still have air quality warnings in place for the Fraser Canyon as well as the central interior and West Kootenay under a yellow warning. Orange air quality warning in place for the eastern Fraser Valley, so the impacts are more severe, and that's from Agassiz stretching all the way to Hope. So here's a look at the air quality health index for Metro Vancouver. Not too bad. It is at low for most of Metro Vancouver. Heading to the Fraser Valley, it is at moderate for Abbotsford, and it is extreme for the eastern sections of Fraser Valley, and that is including Hope. And dry weather continues as we head into the next few days. As you can see, as that ridge of high pressure builds, it is going to heat things up. We will see temperatures in the low 30s as we head into the rest of the week. So for the North Island tomorrow, you'll start off with some showers. It does clear up quite nicely. 18 degrees. It'll be dry and hot for the southern interior and central interior. Your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Heating up to 28 degrees under sunny skies for Campbell River and Comox. That's what you can expect for the South Island from Tofino right down to Victoria. We're looking at temperatures between 24 and 32 degrees. Sunny skies for the Sunshine Coast and 26. Hotter up the Sea to Sky Highway. You'll see hazy conditions. Temperatures between 30 in Whistler and 31 degrees in Squamish. And for us across the lower mainland, smoky skies will continue tomorrow. We're looking at temperatures between 25 degrees near the water, 31 degrees inland. On Thursday, temperatures between 36 and 32. On Friday, we'll see inland temperatures reach 30 degrees. Touch cooler for Saturday and Sunday, but still above seasonal with inland temperatures between 26 and 28. Mostly sunny skies on Monday, and then on Tuesday, seasonal temperatures at 22 under a mix of sun and cloud. No rain in sight, unfortunately, as we head into the rest of the work week.
It's nice to have some this past weekend. It's a nice refresh. Thanks, Al. Well, after the break, buyer beware.
Nothing indicated that it was in U.S. dollars. Nothing at all.
She's a Canadian who booked a trip to a Canadian destination and was shocked to be charged in U.S. dollars. And she's not alone. We'll be right back. Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar was down, trading slightly above 71 cents U.S. Oil was down around $4.50 to about $75 U.S. a barrel. Gold saw a $62 increase. On the stock market, the TSX gained 575 points. The Dow Jones gained 907 on the day. The federal government is taking the next step toward declaring a proposed pipeline from Alberta to the West Coast as a national interest project. The designation will allow Ottawa to fast-track approvals and bypass some environmental regulations. The pipeline is a key part of an energy deal between Ottawa and Alberta. The more than 1,200-kilometer pipeline would move more than 1 million barrels of crude oil from Alberta to BC for export to international markets. The public has until September 18th to comment on the proposal. The federal government is investing more than $1.2 million in an Indigenous-led forestry project that will lay the groundwork for potential new wood processing facilities in coastal BC.
Canada's forest sector is at a turning point. Global markets are shifting, climate change is impacting our forests, and the effects of unjust U.S. tariffs are felt by workers, families, and communities. These challenges are very real.
The funding will go toward a study to determine whether the majority Indigenous-owned facility should move forward. If approved, the project could support more than 700 jobs along BC's coast. If you're planning to take a flight or book a hotel room online, there are hundreds of different websites to choose from. Many sites are based in Canada, but many are not. Even if you're traveling within Canada, you might find out after booking you aren't being charged in Canadian dollars. CTV's Pat Foran explains.
Nothing indicated that it was in U.S. dollars. Nothing at all.
Elizabeth Haddock of Orangeville planned a trip with her friends to Picton and needed a hotel room for 2 nights. She started her search on Trivago, which took her to the website super.com. She booked a room and thought she was paying in Canadian funds.
It wasn't until I got my credit card bill.
Haddock says instead of being charged $430 Canadian, it was $430 US, so the total jumped to $610.
Why would I want to see a U.S. price?
In a statement, Trivago said Trivago is not involved in the booking or payment process. The site that completed the reservation is best placed to investigate the charge. When Haddock reached out to super.com, she was offered a $43 credit, which she declined.
Normally, when you book anything online, I always get the price I expect.
Suraj Gugania Vaughn needed a rental vehicle for a trip to Vancouver. He booked with Next Car Rental, which stated on its website transactions were in Canadian dollars. But if you prepay for a rental, it's in U.S. funds. Gugania felt that was misleading.
It seemed like Canadian to me because it had the Canadian taxes and everything. And then later on, when I look at my credit card statement, I see that it was charged in USDs.
Instead of paying $420 Canadian, it was $420 US, which made the charge $611. After we contacted Next Car Rental, the company said it made some changes to its website, saying we removed the line about all transactions being in Canadian dollars. All prepaid reservations booked on nextcarrental.com are in US dollars and always have been.
The best websites will make it very clear.
Travel experts say the best advice is to check websites carefully before finalizing transactions.
On the final page, I want to see if it's in CAD or USD, and if it doesn't say, I go back a page and double check personally.
In Gugania's case, Next Car Rental refunded the difference. As for Haddock, she feels she deserves money back too.
I want the difference to be refunded to my credit card.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Breaking news, longtime host of CTV National News, Lloyd Robertson, has died. Robertson covered everything from the fall of the Berlin Wall to the 9/11 terrorist attacks during his 35 years as chief anchor for CTV National News. He received many honors throughout his celebrated career, including the Order of Canada, an honorary Doctor of Laws from Royal Roads University near Victoria, and a star on Canada's Walk of Fame. Lloyd Robertson was 92 years old. After the break, is this even legal? Police get a highly unusual call about a man who landed his helicopter in a Cabela's parking lot. Wait till you hear the reason why. And later, sharing wisdom and mowing lawns. Adam uncovers a century of insight from a 101-year-old man mowing his lawn. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Right now, here's Craig with a preview of Your Morning Vancouver.
Tomorrow on Your Morning Vancouver, BC researchers are trying to get to the bottom of all things seaweed. We'll dive into how UBC and Hornby Island have partnered to train the next generation of coastal scientists. Plus, a concerning rise in HIV infections in Canada. We'll have an update on the situation and what's causing the spike. And an oyster chef stops by and we get the lowdown on local seafood and the combinations being whipped up in the kitchen. See you in the morning.
New data from Visa suggests consumers spent more in both Canadian host cities during this summer's FIFA World Cup. The credit card company says spending rose 12.7% in Vancouver on match days compared to the same date in 2025. Vancouver's peak spending day, June 13th, when Australia faced Turkey at BC Place. The spending increase in Vancouver, however, was only a little more than half of Toronto, which saw a nearly 25% rise in spending. Canada's men's soccer team will renew an old rivalry when they return to the pitch later this year.
Lovely little ball through. It's Jonathan David! What a strike from Jonathan David to give Canada the lead!
Canada will travel south of the border to face the United States and Minnesota on October 6th. Both sides are coming off round of 16 exits at the World Cup, and it will be the final of 3 friendlies for Canada, with matches scheduled against Chile in Toronto September 26th and Peru and Montreal on October 3rd. Well, why drive when you can fly? That was the attitude of one Wisconsin helicopter pilot over the weekend. The pilot decided to go shopping at a Cabela's in Milwaukee on Saturday, as one does. Instead of getting behind the wheel of a car, the 69-year-old climbed into a helicopter and landed in the store's parking lot. When asked why he flew there, the pilot reportedly said the drive was too long. He was questioned by law enforcement, who said he complied with all regulations, was properly licensed, and landed safely. The pilot was not ticketed. It's not clear what, if anything, he decided to buy.
They have to have helicopter gear there, right?
I mean, and you've got a private jet.
Exactly.
You land it anywhere you want.
I do that all the time, and I sometimes parachute in when it's easier.
Ooh. Indeed. Well, they didn't have an appointment, but they walked right in anyway. Several capybaras took a leisurely tour through a government building in Brazil before a worker gently guided them back outside. The building is right beside a large urban park where the friendly rodents are frequent visitors. Capybaras are the largest rodents in the world and can weigh up to 175 pounds. Experts say they're also highly social, which could explain their unexpected visits. Those are not dogs.
Yes. No, they are so cute,
we get the bears, they get the capybaras.
Yeah. Capybara?
Bears.
All right, just before we get to the Swatsky sign-off, Lauren, what are you working on for tonight?
Well, Nafisa, as we know, thousands of British Columbians remain evacuated from their homes tonight due to wildfires all across our province. We'll have the latest details on just how many people have been forced to flee, and we're also tracking that major fire in the North Okanagan, along with other blazes throughout BC tonight.
Thank you, Lauren. Well, finally, Adam learns a thing or two about longevity and lawn maintenance from a man with more than a century of knowledge on tonight's Encore Sawatsky sign-off.
Although today is a special day, David Faulkner begins it in an ordinary way.
I get up about 6 o'clock and I make porridge.
The same breakfast the 101-year-old has been eating since he could still show his age on one hand.
We didn't even have a telephone.
While Dave remembers communicating through postcards and traveling on horses, he'll never forget enduring the Great Depression.
You couldn't afford to buy a new thing.
So Dave was taught how to maintain everything.
You gotta have old stuff to fix it.
And now, instead of using a walker for stability,
I carry tools.
Pushes a cart so he's prepared for any possibility.
I never know what I run into all day.
Dave's especially grateful to be good with his hands, since things have gone so bad with his eyes.
I got a spot in the middle of my vision. It blacks out.
While his limited peripheral vision is foggy,
I feel.
Dave's passion for mowing couldn't be more clear.
Oh, I like it. It's exciting.
From 1 to 10, Dave, how excited are you?
Oh, maybe 8.
Lawn Mowing Day achieves a strong score because Dave's work ethic is even stronger.
Make every day count. That's what I think.
But if you ask Dave what he's learned at the end of the day really counts,
and I married a lovely lady.
He'll tell you about the 75 years he spent with his beloved Elsa.
She looked after me. I tried to look after her too.
He'll tell you how proud he is of his kids, including Jan, who's visiting today.
Something will happen and you get a little laugh or a smile.
And while Dave suggests you always put family first and never think twice about doing the right thing,
just try to be honest about everything.
He's too humble to talk about the volunteering he's done for decades. While Dave doesn't know the secret to his longevity, he has no doubt about the meaning of life.
Try to be happy.
And the best way to do that?
And try to make other people happy.
And that is how you make every day, no matter your age, feel like 10 out of 10. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Langley.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by 1-800-GOT-JUNK. They make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Reminds me of my grandpa, who would go to multiple grocery stores every single day, whether he needed to or not. He had a passion for grocery shopping.
And social life, right?
Yeah. whatever keeps you young at heart.
Yeah, and he's got the lawnmower, so good for him. All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. Smoky sunset in Penticton. Thanks, Jean, for sending this beautiful photo in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well, so email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
And that wildfire situation is changing throughout the evening, so make sure you stay up late with Lauren. Catch the 11:30 news. That is all for us tonight, though. Thank you so much for sharing part of your evening with us. Stay safe out there.